If you're in the advanced pre-algebra class, you are looking right now at the apple picking sample, and this was how we explained it to the students who have not been able to solve variables on both sides. So this is kind of a good visual representation for you to see what's going on. You can use this representation to kind of go back and check your work after you write the equation. So it says Brock picked a quarter of the apples on his grandmother's tree. So I started out with a block here to represent the tree, split it into quarters, and 1/4 was Brock who picked that. When he was done, there were 3/4 of the apple left on the tree still. After he finished, though, Grace picked 1/3 of what was left. So she picked this third because there's 3 equal parts. That's 1/3 of what was left. It says after she finished, there were 36 apples left on the tree. So 36 apples makes up these 2 equal parts here, so each of them is worth 18, which meant since these were equal parts as well, there were really 18 times 4, or 72 apples on the tree. However, being in advanced pre-algebra, we've already talked about equations with variables on both sides. So the way we can look at this sample is saying Brock has already picked 1/4 of the apples on the tree to start. So we're going to let x equal the apples on tree to start. So Brock picked 1/4 of them, and Grace picked 1/3 of what was left. So 1/3 times the 3/4 that was left of the original apples on the tree, and there were 36 remaining. If I add all those together, those are all the different pieces of the apples that we're taking off the tree, it should equal up to x, which is the number of apples on the tree to start. So if I'm looking here, let's kind of clean this up a little bit. 1/4 x plus, these cancel, so I really, when I'm multiplying, just get 1/4 x plus 36 equals x. So 1/4 x and 1/4 x is 1/2 x plus 36 equals x. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this 1/2 by subtracting 1/2 x from both sides. So I get 36 equals 1x minus 1/2 an x is 1/2 x. And to get rid of this, I multiply by 2 over 1, which is really just 2. So 72 equals x. There were 72 apples on the tree to start. When you do the real problem of the week, which if you look at the other side, you can also do it visually, but I'm asking you as advanced to make sure that you're writing an equation for this one. You'll go through the same step. Bill picked 1/2, Sally picked 1/3 of what was left, so 1/3 of 1/2. And there were 40 apples left. How many apples were there to start? Same setup of equation as we just did.